In today's video, I'm going to review and test this EverStart 100 watt inverter. This is a modified sine wave inverter and it goes directly into a cigarette lighter, and I'm here in my car. It is running and it is also charging a battery. I have a 120 volt battery charger and I've got a big old battery in my trunk running a cooler. So what I want to do is see if it'll work with my laptop. Currently we're purring about 35 watts and it is a little bit warm. It's been running about 15 or 20 minutes. So let me plug in my laptop and we'll see how it goes. All right, I'm going to plug the laptop in here. Got a bonk. All right, I've got a watt meter here, so we can take a look. So what this is this tells me what it's actually doing. And we are at 19.1 volts and 1.7 amps, which is 34.6 watts. And so that is behaving normally. And we have a solid amber light on our charger. And so what I want to do is let it run for a while, because this is a little bit heavier load than it was on the other battery charger, and see how warm this gets. I do not know if it has a fan in it or not, but currently I don't hear anything running at all. It's just completely silent. I don't really see a fan. So hopefully it's passively cooled. So let's check the time here. It's, well, 5 to 3. And let's let it run a while and see what happens. Okay, time got away from me. It's 3:30. So this has been running continuously and it is a bit warmer. I don't have my spot thermometer with me, but it's working just fine. And then let's check the power here. So we're still doing about 34 watts, 31 to 34. It varies, but that works fine. Now, here's something that you should note. Look here at the end. They've got the USB ports so close to the power output that with this big Apple charger here, you cannot access the USB ports. And so that's something to consider. Now you could get a short extension cord. So this is what I did with my trunk power. And then you could do that. But you know, that's a bit of a hassle to have an extension cord when you just simply cannot reach this. But not everything will cause that problem. So let me unplug that. And then here I've now plugged in the battery in the back, and you have full access to your USB ports. And notice that the USB ports are 3.1 amps, so that's a pretty good charge. So let me show you my setup in the back. Now in the back, then I have that extension cord coming right back there, charging this battery. And so this is a big 40 amp hour battery that I'm running my DC cooler on. So I've got a big plug there. And if you're wondering why I'm not running the DC cooler directly from the inverter, that's due to its start capacity. All right, so here's how it's set up. This 40 amp hour battery goes to 12 volt into my DC refrigerator. And then I just do a trickle charge of about 40 watts or so into this battery from the tiny inverter. Now here's the problem. If you were to try and run this cooler off of that little inverter, that's probably not going to work. Now even though this only pulls about 70 watts, it's got 2 or 3 times surge capacity, so that would be maybe 210 watts or something like that, and that would almost certainly exceed the capacity of the inverter. And so we just run this off of this battery and that solves the problem. We never overload the inverter and we're good to go for very, very long times. All right, I had to put the phone down so I could plug it in, but Here's a MacBook Pro. Little bunk. It's running. Okay, we're having a voltage issue. All right, now let me check how this is running in the back based on the correct way to hook it up. All right, so I had turned this down to kick the cooler on. And so if we take a peek back here, you will see that that red light is on. That means that this is charging here. And so, and this should be warm. Okay, so that means the voltage is low enough, and then we trickle charge into this great big battery. And then we let the big old battery handle the surge current from the cooler. And so far so good. I'm pretty pleased with this. All right, now let's look at the specifications. So it's rated at 100, and that 100 watts is the 100 watts continuous rating. On the back, it can surge to 200 watts. It doesn't say how long, but that's what the specifications say. You know what? I don't see that on the back. I must have read that in the manual. I will confirm that in a few minutes. So it's expecting, of course, about 13.8 volts input, 12 amps. And one thing that I have already found out is that you must put this directly into the cigarette adapter, like that, direct. What I had done previously is I had tried to run it off of one of these splitters, and I got a flashing error when I tried to plug my computer into it. Now, one more thing. Years ago, these were like 10 bucks. And now with the tariffs and whatnot, it was $18, I believe, and something like that. I'll put a link in the description below. But I like it a lot better than the previous one I was using, which is right here. Let me get it out. Here's the previous one I was using. So this one is rated at 150 watts, and it is a Bestek, and this one has a fan. Now the issue I'm having is that the fan is starting to howl, so the bearings are starting to go cantywampus, and so making a howling noise. The fan is hammered on it. Still runs, but it has a tendency to squeal. And so I was tired of listening to it. And this one has the 2 USB ports on the side, which is a great feature, because it doesn't matter how big your plug is, they're on the side. So from a practical perspective, that is my one gripe with the EverStart, is that these are just too close to the power plug for any kind of a power adapter. I don't think hardly anything will work, because most power adapters are offset, or these plugs are pretty much in the center. So in my view, that's a bit of a design flaw. But as far as how quiet it is, I prefer the EverStart. I found it. So here it is right here. It's on the back. This is where I saw the surge capacity, 200 watt surge capacity. And if you'll notice right here, this power fault LED indicator, I've already learned from experience that if you're using a thin wired 12 volt splitter and you're trying to do 60, 70 watts, you're going to get a red light and it will cut out. Now it says replaceable fuse. I have not found that yet, but if I find that, I'll let you know.